How often are you stoking your fires? Your agni, your digestive fires, your sexual fires, your fun, creativity, inspired idea fires. My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is the fires. You are listening to a Sagittarius Leo moon, which is fire sun, fire moon, 0 degrees water. I always say I'm like fire water. And I often over-associate with my water because it's present throughout my chart in a lot of ways. But I'm a fire sign, and if you know fire signs, you know that they love fun, and they love to play, and they love to have a good time. I'm often found snickering to myself in a variety of cafes as I work for Rare Bird Medicine because I love to laugh. And laughter feels like medicine, and it has been echoed throughout the annals of time as being medicine. Laughter is medicine. But we find ourselves in a pretty serious, pretty severe time. There's plenty of darkness to go around if we put our attention on it. What we've learned from the double slit experiment that Thomas Young did in 1801 that has been repeated again and again and again and validated again and again and again scientifically is that consciousness, your conscious awareness, is collapsing waves of probability, so probable outcomes and probable worlds, into the particles of the world you see based on your consciousness. Your consciousness is influencing the world that you witness. Multiversal theory is the most common theory that quantum physicists of the modern age believe in, which is there's an infinite number of multiverses present for each entity, and you move into the multiversal expression that is a reflection of your consciousness. So it's viable that if your consciousness is going dark and staying dark, you are collapsing these waves of probability into a world you don't necessarily want to see. You don't have to get into shame. You don't have to get into blame. That is given ad nauseum in the information misinformation age for you to look at the world that way and to hold these low frequency vibrations because people tend to shop when they're, depressed, to fill a void. There's all kinds of things present in our world that we don't have to feed into the shadow side of things. We can, however, pay attention to how we are stoking our fires and consider if we are creating these fires in a way that is healthy and happy for us. Your agni, your digestive fire, it is taught in the East, is needed for your body to receive nutrients and eliminate waste. In the West, we've been told a lot that eating salads, drinking smoothies, it's a great way to get healthy. Both of those things are cold or vata producing. And although that could be true maybe in the hotter months like the summer, it's not ideal in the winter because you're already in a colder month, you're already in a vata environment, and you're putting out your digestive fire and not giving your body what it needs to have the digestive fire be stimulated to offer your body what it seeks. And so, are you stoking your digestive fire? Are you making sure your fire is hot before you give it food? Intermittent fasting is really popular in the modern age, even though I grew up in a culture that said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And what we've come to find is, again, misinformation, not true. It's actually better for you to fast, as my body has always wanted to do. What that does is activate the digestive fire. There are other ways you can do it through the spices, seasonings that you're using. All of this I'm going to talk about this summer in August. I have a class that I'm teaching, a 5-week course. It's $11.10 per week or $55.50 total to receive a 1-hour class every Monday night in August and to receive a ton of materials on fun ways to activate your digestive fire. There's a menu plan, there's a food plan, there's a spice discussion, there are drinks discussed, all things that can support you adding into your life and folding into your life those things that get your digestive fire going. Your sexual fire, unlike your digestive fire, which likes to be activated, your sexual fire, I have found after decades of experience with this and questioning things all the time as a neurodivergent human, I have found gets activated when you allow it to build. And so Heather Feather is never here to kink shame, sex shame, I believe sexuality is sacred. I believe it's totally sanctified. Whatever you're doing in your bedroom is none of my business, and it's totally sacred so long as consent is present. Animals, children, they cannot give consent. Children are developing the self. They don't know what it is that they're giving consent to, and you don't speak an animal's tongue. And if you did, and you had that development of intuition, you would know the answer is no. They didn't come to mate with you. But when consent is present, all kinds of things can happen in the bedroom, especially when communication is present, to really have a nice time, to really have some fun. And that fun can be even more activated, if you've ever studied Tantra, when you allow yourself to not receive a ton of visual stimulation of someone other than your partner or partners if you're polyamorous, being the thing that is activating your sexual fire. You can use your imagination to think of your lover or lovers and stimulate the fires that you're actually working with and building in a bedroom instead of some false movie idea of what occurs in a bedroom, which often leads to dissatisfaction when you get there and see that it doesn't always look just like that when bodies move naked against each other. But you can also let the energy build. You know, we are in a convenience-grabbing culture. The modern age is like convenience. Go ahead, get this shirt that's made out of toxic poison. It's quick and easy. Get this food that's made out of poison. It's quick and easy. It's like, is it? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that leads to disease later. I don't know how convenient that is. I think it supports the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry later, but okay, interesting choice. And so we can be attentive to what creative fires of ideas are being stimulated in us. We can stoke the sexual fire by not constantly masturbating or constantly engaging in sex and let it build up, and then allow yourself to touch another that you've been imagining in your mind instead of filling yourself with choice paralysis ideas in the paradigm when you get in the bedroom, and see what that fire does. I'm just inviting you to explore with that. You know what I mean? Explore. Don't take my word for it. Go explore and see what happens for you. I have found it to be the most potent thing in the world to let the sexual fire build and then allow yourself to have and hold the stimulation of that fire. Woo, very titillating. There's also the fire of fun, the creative fires. You know, we are thinking beings and we are feeding ourselves in our eyes and our ears and in our being information every single day. We're receiving it at different beta hertz. You've got, you know, the beta hertz of your consciousness in the waking day, but different hertz. You've got the alpha theta hertz of meditation and sleeping, which enters the subconscious mind. But we often are not being stewards of the gateway of what enters our inner temple and our paradigm. And so I find a lot of us are allowing a lot of dark information of our world to go into the temple that houses the light of love, the most sacred, beautiful thing in all the multiverses, in my opinion, that deserves all self-care, self-love, self-respect, self-awareness, attention, so that we can be holistically well and holistically healthy. No one is going to come and heal you. It is an inside job. That's why all those words begin with self. It's no one else's job to cause you to be well physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually if you want to have holistic health and wellness. And so one of the things we can do if we're not enjoying the life in which we stew, and we find that to be a murky thing, is stop feeding our awareness darkness to reflect in the agua de vida waters of our heart, murky darkness that then collapses waves of probability into the particles of a dark world we don't want to look upon. We can also choose again. We can fire up a new idea. This symbology is hyper present in our modern age where we've had fires globally. And you can trust Heather Feather has not only volunteered to serve when these things occur, she has prayed and prayed and prayed over those beings that have had to endure the hardship that comes from these global fires. And she's prayed for rain and has worked with the storm gods to bring rain in so that we can put out these fires globally as they occur. But there is a universal symbol of fire that is hyper present in our modern age, almost as if the collective consciousness wants us to awaken to firing up a new idea in how we walk through our day. We can look upon things that are funny. Heather watches tons of stand-up comedy. They're not always funny. I don't always agree with everything they say. I don't always agree with every human that I meet each day. But what I do find funny has me laughing, which makes me feel like this part of my day was well spent. You know, laughter is truly medicine. And so we can choose actively to be aware of what airs we are using to feed the fires of our being. Are you receiving a lot of airs of negativity, of dark messages, of dark songs, dark music, dark information, dark world? And are you feeling dark? And are you feeling depressed? And are you in the doldrums? It may be a good time to shift one's paradigm by firing up a new idea and looking at something that inspires, something that looks fun. When is the last time you skipped instead of walked? When is the last time you shaked your arms and your legs and your body for somatic therapy so that you're not moving in regulated, regimented ways? We're going to look at all of that this August in the Lionsgate portal class. Go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link to learn more about it, and you can always click book online. For $11.10 each week for 5 weeks, we're going to go deep. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐸.